Hi guys, it's Erik-Weisz with a new lock picking video. And the lock we are talking about today is the Winkhaus keyTec Extra. It's another high pin count dimple lock and it can have up to 20 pins arranged in 4 rows. And all the rows are offset from each other, so pins can be omitted as needed and the remaining pins can be arranged arbitrarily without further restrictions. This allows for flexible configuration of the lock on the one hand and, even more importantly, also allows for progressive pinning. This particular lock has 13 pins, mainly located in the top 2 rows, and it's a modular cylinder, which makes cutting much easier. The offset arrangement of the pin rows also helps to keep disassembling this lock from being too frustrating. But now, without further ado, let's put this in a vise and see if we can pick it open. Alright, the Winkhaus keyTec Extra is now in the vise. Here's the key again. Works smoothly. And for tensioning I use this SP57 tensioner from Multipick. It has a special shape that fits perfectly into the keyway. And I apply clockwise tension. And for picking I use the shallow and the medium hook from the Moki AKAB set. And I start with the medium hook. Let's make sure everything is locked up. And I try to set as many of the top pins as possible. Have to be careful a bit not to overset anything. Also, I don't need very much tension now because at this time there should always be some binding pins. As soon as I feel some pins have been set, I increase tension a bit and check the pins more individually. Now this one seems to be binding. Or not. No. But perhaps rather on the left hand side. Okay, I don't feel any binders for now, so let's check the bottom rows. But there are no binders either, so I must have overlooked something in the top rows. I guess this one, binding quite heavily. There was a nice click. Number 3 on the left hand side. Now I released tension and dropped a lot, I think. At least it felt like that. This one is now binding heavily. Let's try the bottom rows again. Oh no, the first one on the left, on the right is binding. Give a nice click. And the others are still loose. Sometimes I set them by accident. Oh, and we're open. That was faster than expected, to be honest. I would have thought that there should be some unset pins still. All right, but that's nice. So let's insert the key to make sure we got the right side. Take it out of the vise and have a look what's inside. Good thing is that this is a modular cylinder, so we simply have to remove the 2 screws from the downside. We can take it apart. So this is the bridge, and this is the side we are interested in, and the other side looks the same. And the cam pieces, we can put that aside, I think. So the 2 screws, the screwdriver. Take a pinning tray instead. And now the fun begins. So key, okay, that as well, and then the outer cover. To remove the outer cover, I had to bend these 2 little tabs. Let me show you that. These 2 little tabs, I had to bend them a bit outwards, otherwise the outer cover would not be able to slide out. So let's focus again and yeah, see what we can do. We have to be a bit careful because there are many pins and springs that can easily get lost. So let's see. I call this one row number 1, 2, 3, and 4, and try to keep track of the pins in the pinning tray. Let's see what comes first. That's the first pin of row 2, I think. Some of the chambers are empty, but this one is not. Let's take some tweezers. So this is chamber 5 of row 2. So let's put the spring there. And let's try to get the pins out. This has proven a bit difficult in the past. Let's try to take some tools to support that. There it is. Oh, it's a bit oily. I simply put the pins here and arrange them later. Then what is next? The chamber 5 of row 1 is empty. Yes. Is it? Yes. Then chamber 5 of row row 4 is also empty. So next one is chamber 5 of row 3. That's here. Is that spring? Should go here. And let's drop the pins out. There they are. And the next one is chamber 4 of row 2. This can easily become a bit confusing. So let's try not to get confused. next one is, let's see, should be chamber 4 of row 3. There we go. Chamber 3 of row 2. Next one is chamber 3 of row 4. Oh, and there was also chamber 3 of row 1. Let's take that spring out at least. It's which one was first? I guess it's the one from number 4. There we go. And chamber 3 of row 1. Now it's chamber 3 of row 3. And chamber 2 of row 2. Let's try to get them out in order. There we go. And the next one was in row 3, I guess. Is that correct? Chamber 3 in row 3. Oh, something went wrong, I guess. No, that was the other one. Chamber 2. I guess this should go here. Oops. I'm sorry for that confusion. But what we have here is chamber 2 of row 2. Wish me luck to get this together again later. Come on. All right. Now, what do we have? It's chamber 2 in row 4. else do we have? Chamber 2 in row 3. Now it becomes a bit fiddly, if it was not already. So, but I think this should be the last one, or at least one of them. That's chamber 1 in row 2. Is there anything more? Yeah, that's chamber 1 and number 1. So let's still be careful. There we are. And chamber 1 in row 1. And I guess this should be it. Maybe I leave this in to remove the clip first. It's here in the front of the lock. Hopefully I get this undone. There we go. It's just a clip. So let's take out the last pin from first chamber in row 1. Does this work? I hope I will get it out. Maybe I got a problem now with that, but let's see. At least this is the driver, and I think the key pin we will get later. So this is the outer housing, and now the inner should be able to slide out, but it shows some wear, so I will try to file that down a bit to get this out. It's maybe a bit strange, but I hope it works this way. Didn't do that before, to be honest, but I think this did the trick. Or at least it works better now. I hope this will work. Maybe it was not enough, so let's file a bit more. That's not the way I'm cutting locks usually, but in this case I think it's necessary. And now, yeah, now it should come out. All right. So let's take out the, let's clean that a bit. And let's take out the last key pin. Come on. There it is. So this was the first in the first chamber. Well, I could arrange them now a bit more, but I think this will be sufficient for here. So this is the inner housing with all the chambers. Nothing special about it, I think. There were no counter millings or threadings or so. But this is also not the interesting part, because here are This is the place where the drivers and the springs are located. What is more interesting is the core, also with all its chambers, and there is some counter milling, I guess. At least it looks like that, but I didn't feel it, to be honest, during the picking process. So in any case, this I think is about all I have to show you about this Winkhaus keyTec Extra. Sorry for not arranging the pins any further, but I think this would take unnecessarily much time. So here are the 4 rows. It's 2, 5, 4 and 2, which means that there are 13 pins in this lock. I hope you found this interesting and enjoyed the video, and hope to see you next time. Bye bye.